JBN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. JPS raises concerns after the government announces that their all-island license would not be renewed. The Jamaica Public Service Company JPS is expressing grave concern about the government's announcement that it will not renew the company's all-island license under the existing terms. In a media release on Tuesday, JPS confirmed it is in receipt of formal notification from the government indicating its intention of acquiring the licensed business at the expiration of the term of the license being July 8, 2027. JPS President and the Chief Executive Officer, Hugh Grant, said this development has several implications for the energy sector and for the country in general. The JPS leadership, shareholders, and legal teams will review the implications while engaging key stakeholders. Regardless of the path forward, we assure our customers that JPS remains steadfast in our commitment to deliver safe, reliable, resilient, and cost-effective electricity service to the nation, he said. The current JPS license expires on July 8, 2027. Energy Minister Darrell Vance noted, however, that the government does not intend to take over JPS's operations.
The current license holders are well aware of the government's intention to negotiate new terms which are consistent with the vision of the government for a reform in the sector. The terms must be the collective goals and aspirations of the people of Jamaica who have been burdened by high electricity costs for decades. Reform in the energy sector is a must, even as we pursue the pathway towards reformation, and we should assure the nation that the government is serving a formal notice to the JPS of its intention to acquire the license business all goes well towards stability in the electricity sector, even as we negotiate terms to better serve the people of Jamaica. There will be no disruption in service delivery prompted by our move to put ourselves in a position to secure better outcome to the consumer. The license is very specific, and in terms of the license, in 2027, those conditions are in place. So I like to make that very clear. There is a well-known quote. It says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. This government is committed to positive change. In the meantime, the government is going to start looking at our options. That option is inevitable. Whoever it is that we enter going to the table for a final negotiation for the new license with new terms as of July 2027, will be terms that are favorable to the Jamaican people and citizens and everybody, because we are heading the other way. Draw a line in the sand, learn from our mistakes, and don't repeat them, and negotiate on the table to get the thing done. And we will bring our consultants, whatever we need to get things together to make sure that we are looking at what is transpired in other countries, mistakes that have been made, to make sure that when we finalize our negotiation and sign with whoever, it will be the best possible.
Businessman dies in two-vehicle collision in St. Ann. A 32-year-old businessman died in a two-vehicle collision along the Rowan River Main Road near Ocheres, St. Ann on Sunday morning. Lux Roberts Jr. of Parrytown, St. Ann, was reportedly driving his motor car towards Miami Bay when about 7:25, he attempted to overtake another motor car but failed to do so properly. His vehicle clipped the right side of the other car, causing him to lose control. The vehicle being driven by Roberts hit the guardrail before crashing into a perimeter wall. Roberts was assisted to hospital, where he died a few hours after receiving treatment. The driver of the other car was not injured. Elderly woman dead following explosion caused by gas stove. The Lindsay police in St. Catherine are investigating the fiery death of a 92-year-old woman following an explosion caused by a gas stove at her home in the parish on Monday. The deceased has been identified as Gloria Hodlum of Jericho District, St. Catherine. According to reports, about 4:30 p.m., Hodlum was at home when she lit a gas stove and it exploded, causing her to suffer severe burns. The senior citizen was assisted to the Lindsay Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. The Linseed police have since launched an investigation into the matter. Woman charged for stabbing death of another in Mountain View. Detectives assigned to the Kingston East Police Division have charged a woman with murder for allegedly stabbing another woman to death during a dispute along Mountain View Avenue in Kingston on Saturday. The accused is 55-year-old Sharon Young, otherwise called Rochi, a vendor of Beach Road in Bull Bay, Kingston. She has been charged with the murder of 56-year-old Nancy Green Edwards of Long Bay, Portland. According to reports, about 10:30 a.m., Young and Green Edwards had a dispute during which the accused used a knife to stab Green Edwards multiple times. The police were summoned and the injured woman was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Young was apprehended shortly after the incident by the Kingston East Police and formally charged following a question and answer session with detectives. Her court date is being finalized. Nurses at several hospitals called in sick. JBN has been informed that an undetermined number of nurses at several hospitals have called in sick. The protest action has caused disruptions to the public health services. At least 3 categories of nurses, registered, enrolled and registered midwives, are reportedly disgruntled over the outstanding payment of salaries, uniform allowance and retroactive overtime. Meanwhile, the medical technologists are continuing their protests over their welfare and working conditions. The medical technologists at Cornwall Regional, Falmouth and the Savermore hospitals are upset about these long-standing concerns. They are represented by the Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel. The union's president, St. Patrice Ennis, said the workers believe matters concerning them are not being treated seriously.
They have complained that right throughout the day, not until I left after 4, that is, that members from the regional office made contact with us despite our actions being effective from 8 a.m. And they continue to believe that is a reflection of the disregard that the region has displayed towards them, ignoring their concerns for years now, despite their patience and understanding. And that, again, has been manifested by not having made any contact with the workers during their protest action until sometime after 4, when they did reach me by phone. At that time, I had already left the institution. We have outstanding things from 2016, 2017. In addition to that, well, with respect to their uniform material, that wasn't presented. We said that they should receive payment in lieu. That has not been dealt with. We are talking about a washing allowance that workers are entitled to. The lab technicians and the lab attendants have not been granted those entitlements, despite their clear directives from the ministry and their heads of agreement and circulars from the Ministry of Finance stipulating clearly that they are entitled to it, and we have brought those things to the attention of the region, and again they have ignored such things.
Suspect arrested in stabbing death of Jamaican woman in New York. Police in Bronx, New York, have arrested the main suspect in the murder of Jamaican Tamara Rowe at her apartment on Saturday. Rowe's boyfriend, 39-year-old Khalil Cooper, is accused of stabbing her during a domestic dispute. He was arrested Monday and faces murder charges, among others. The 40-year-old woman was found with stab wounds to her chest and right arm at the residential building on East 232nd Street in the Wakefield section. Rowe's 2 young children, aged 11 and 2, have been placed in the care of the New York Administration of Children's Services, but efforts are being made to have them placed with relatives or a friend of the family. The Jamaican consulate in New York said it was working to resolve the issue in the best interest of the children. Nothing to hide in FID selection, says Maurice Dixon. Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Senator Dana Morris Dixon, says the government has nothing to hide in the selection process regarding the new head of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. Morris Dixon was speaking during a press conference on Tuesday in response to reports that the government had blocked access to information requests regarding the adjustment in the criteria for the top job.
In the first round, a candidate was selected, but that candidate opted not to accept the position. The panel that had been doing the interviews, the panel decided that they had to go back out in order to get a new candidate because the candidate from the original round did not accept the offer. But I just wanted to address the matter of the selection of the new head of the FID. And just to note again, there is nothing to hide in relation to that selection process. There was a process that was engaged with, and a candidate was selected. There were 2 rounds that were done, and they wanted to also broaden the pool of individuals that could be selected. And as you know, when you do this, and this is done across Jamaica, you always, you want to get the best person you can. And you put out an ad, and you do your interviews, and you select someone, and then that person says, no, I don't think I'm going to take up this opportunity. Many entities go and do another round, and sometimes they may change the ad, trying to get a broader pool of persons to be interested, and that is actually what happened there. And so the ad was changed to get more people. Now that didn't seem controversial to the team because the criteria in relation to law enforcement experience was not one that was there from the very beginning. And if you look at those who have headed the FID, they have not had law enforcement experience except for one. The last 2 who were acting did not have it. The longest serving head did not have specific law enforcement experience. And so the panel felt that in order to get a broader cadre of persons applying for this position, which is an important position, that they would remove that requirement, and they got a broader pool of applicants, and they then shortlisted and interviewed.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.